Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm assuming, can people hear me today? I did reboot the mic. Okay, good. Awesome. We've been having so many issues, and I am the last person that should be using IT. But yeah, we've been having issues, so I'm glad that has been resolved. So how's everybody doing? Hi, Michael. Joshua. Wait a second. You just had a baby girl? Is that what you said? Luke, how are you? Michael, Maddie, Alda, Alejandro. Who am I missing here? Adrian, how are you guys? First of all, I just want to know from Josh, did I read that right, my friend? Did you just have a baby girl? Kathy, hello, how are you? I'm doing okay. Started to take note of everything I'm walking past. That's impressive. That's impressive. You're starting to pay attention. I think that's great. Heather, how are you? Okay, I heard from a friend that sometimes help people out when they're in need. Okay. I heard from a friend that you sometimes help people out when they're in need. In the mental health world, of course I do. Yes. I am a therapist, and I try to help as many people out as we can in terms of anxiety and depression. Okay, I'm still waiting for Joshua. Joshua, am I reading this right? Just born this hour. Hi, Anthony. How was your day? Karen, my day was amazing. Thank you. How was yours? Emily Foster says, congratulations. Hey, congratulations. Congratulations. Good evening. Mr. Caputo, hope you're having an amazing night. Jessica, my dear, I am having an amazing night. How are you? How's everyone enjoying part 2 so far? I love seeing so many people here in the live feed. Me too. Hey, guys. So I've been having a few health problems, and I've now developed a severe panic disorder. Emily, we will get to that, my dear. Alda, congratulations. Today has been a struggle for me. Ladon, we'll get to that. Still don't want to be around a group of females or large groups in general. Okay. Heather, I finally made it on here. Couldn't figure it out until my husband got involved. Well, thank you, husband. Okay. Well, he said that sometimes you'll help people with food or if they're behind on bills. We in our live feeds, no, not here. This chat here. This is strictly for mental health. So what we do here is we deal with anxiety and depression on our lives on TikTok. Yes, we do many giveaways. We play games and we do our best to try and help people with that sort of thing. But if that's the case for here, no, definitely came to the wrong place. This is where we deal with anxiety and depression. Joshua, April Lynn is my newest family member name. Amazing, Joshua. Congratulations. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. No, please do not be sorry. No need to be sorry at all. Joshua, congratulations, brother. That's amazing. That's incredible. How does it feel? And it's a daughter, so best of luck with that. I got 2. And yes, it gets worse. So you better make sure you continue to run through our program because the anxiety is going to get worse. Kat, hi Anthony, how are you? I'm also Kat. How are you? Hello, it's your girl dad. Okay, hope y'all have fun. Thank you, Kate. Thank you. Okay, so let's get to it. So I want to address some things that I've seen here. So first off, Luke, you're doing okay. That's great to hear. I want to know what the purpose of when you're saying you're taking note of everything you're walking past. Make sure that you are doing these things and you're not forcing yourself. You're not forcing yourself to do these things. You want these things to come naturally. Okay. I don't know if that story that I have with my one client is relevant or not. I was helping a client and she was agoraphobic for quite some time. Um, and her sister reached out to me and asked for some help. So I started working with her. And within a short period of time, I had her out of the house. And the family messaged me, and they were forever grateful. And I still knew I needed some work done. So I had a Zoom meeting with her that night, and we had a long talk. And I was like, what's going on? And she was crying, and thank you, thank you, thank you. You've helped me so much. And I was like, that's great. What's going on? She's like, I'm actually finally able to get out of my house. I owe it all to you. I'm walking around. I'm like, okay, and what's going on? She goes, twice a day, me and my husband go for walks. She goes, and it's I've been stuck in my house I think it was for about 20 years. That she was stuck in her house for. I said, that's amazing. I said, so, you're following the steps, you're being present, you're being aware. She goes, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I said, perfect. I said, how long have you lived in that house for? She goes, about 30 years. I said, okay. I said, and you're walking around the area? She goes, yep, I take my route. I walk around the area, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, great. I said, how long have your neighbors lived there? She goes, actually, they're our friends. We bought at the same time. I said, that's awesome. I said, so you're getting out every day. It's been a couple months now. I said, tell me something. What's planted in front of your neighbor's house? She couldn't answer it. She was putting a lot of her energy into what was going on, which is great. I think that's great, because this is a woman who, was secluded. She was a prisoner of her own mind for over 20 years. She wasn't able to leave her house. Now she's finally out. And I'm glad. I can understand and appreciate the fact that the excitement's there. But now, after a couple of months, the novelty should have worn off. And she should have been really present. She should have been aware. So what I'm saying to you is, just make sure you're doing these things and it's coming from the right energy. Just breathe, relax, go in that present moment. Stay aware. So there was another one. So Emily talks about, so you've been having a few health problems and have developed this. Okay, so now, is this panic disorder part of these? Can you give me a little bit more details, Emily? I would love to hear some more. Ladon, today has been a struggle for me. I need a little bit more detail as to why. So Luke says, still don't want to be around a group of females or large groups in general. That's very normal. You need to first establish the trust and security within yourself. Okay, that's very normal. I mean, I'm not expecting you guys have only been in this program, for a lot of you, still in step one for a couple of weeks now. I'm not expecting you to be running out there and this has completely already changed your mindset. It's going to take some time, and that's understandable. But we need to start working on, yourself, because once you have that confidence and security in yourself, it won't matter where you go or who you're with or how big that crowd is, because you're going to have that trust within yourself. You need that confidence within yourself, because that's what happened with anxiety. That's what happens with this. We lose our self-esteem, and I call it that subconscious depression, or that subconscious anxiety. And believe me, there's subconscious anxiety, because that's what's keeping you in this world of anxiety, because anxiety becomes addictive. That's another thing we can definitely talk tonight, how anxiety is addictive for most of us. But where are we here? Okay, got involved. Says sometimes I'll help you. Okay. So where are we? Emily, I was put on Seraplex and made my right side go numb. So Emily, you had that reaction. And this is something I'm assuming you have spoken to your medical doctor about. Scary and excited at the same time. I was scared. To be a parent. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared to become a parent, because it's new. You don't know what to expect. Am I going to be a good parent? What kind of morals and values and standards are we going to instill in our children? Right? It is very scary, but you got this. I assure you, you got this. It's not as bad as our minds tell us it is. Just be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. It's important to raise children, especially with our children. We don't push any ideologies on our children. We help our children make the decisions for themselves. Of course, we guide them, but it's important to help your children make their own decisions, and understand. And this is the thing. I talked about this in one of my videos in the app, where it's about understanding our children and understanding that they do have a voice, and what affects them is obviously different than what would affect us, and we cannot suppress those. Cannot suppress those feelings from our children, that our children have, rather. Sorry. Where are we? Great. I can finally comment in your live because the last three I wasn't able to. Oh no, Kat, no. Alyssa, hello. Jessica, is this chat for the people in your program, or can TikTok fans partake as well? Jessica, we don't mind other people coming in here because we do know that it is geared towards anxiety and depression, so everybody does feel safe. So we have created a safe community here. So yes, Emily, I suffer with PTSD and depression and anxiety, and been stuck inside my house since COVID started, and at home schooling for my 2 old children, and also have a 3-year-old. So you're okay. So I can appreciate. Okay, you suffer from PTSD. Okay, and depression and anxiety. Yes. Usually with PTSD, I mean, like this is the thing. When I see PTSD, anxiety, depression, to me, it's all one thing. And I really don't focus on the depression part because I know once you are able to tackle the anxiety, the depression will go away. That is for sure. So are you, Emily, is the issue that you are stuck at home? Are you not able to get out? Is this what's causing more anxiety and depression for you? LaDon, I just feel extremely anxious today, but can't really pinpoint why. Just hands sweating, heart racing, and panicked all day. I do that every day off and on, but today has just been overwhelming. LaDon, are you on any medications? And also, have you noticed any patterns with any time at times that this is happening? Have you noticed any patterns? Certain times, is it in the morning, afternoon, nighttime? Is this something you're waking up with? I definitely want some more information from you. Emily Foster. Yes, my doctor took me right off the meds and sent me for a CT scan. He thought I might have had a stroke while I was sleeping. Well, that's interesting. A stroke while you were sleeping. Okay. How are you feeling now? And what other symptoms were there? There was just numbness on the right side. Did it go from head to toe, or was it more in the limbs? Heather, I didn't like where I was going. I recently quit my toxic job and I'm looking for a healthier place to work. I think that's great, Heather. I think that's great. I would love to talk more detail of why that job was toxic. Because the way I see it, it's fine. It's easiest for us to push away from the toxicity. I get that, and I can appreciate that because that's something we should do. We shouldn't subject ourselves to that. But the reality is a lot of times it's our perspective on things, right? It's what we allow to happen. It's what we allow to bother us. And I enjoy, and I know this is going to sound bad because sometimes I enjoy being around it. I'll tell you why, because it really helps us grow as people. It really does. And being around it and changing that mindset towards certain emotions can really also help other people. Anthony, I'm a fan. Plus, recently your game and watch is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Had a fan jump on here. That's awesome. Bunny Braxton, thank you. Karen, I went to Walmart and I was determined to stay present and aware and not get angry. I did have a panic attack when Alyssa disappeared on me. Our trip was short and anxiety free. That's great. That is amazing. No need to have a panic attack, right? I mean, this is the thing, Karen. We never really go back to that. What did that serve when Alyssa, I guess, disappeared? What did the panic attack serve? What happened? Because really, it was no big deal, right? And we need to go back to those to say, okay, what happened? Why did it happen? What was the outcome? What could have been the outcome? And it's about retraining. It's about reprogramming our mind. So you went to Walmart, Alyssa disappeared, you had an anxiety attack, you had a panic attack, and then obviously you got back into your comfort and it went away, right? So you have to look at what was it that scared you when that happened? When Alyssa disappeared and you couldn't see her anymore, what was that situation that bothered you? Joshua Anthony, I was in the present at Walmart, and instead of anxiety, I realized it's a depressing place. Walmart, I don't see Walmart as a depressing place. But I'm glad though, Joshua. I'm glad that you're able to get there without the anxiety. I think that's impressive. I think that's amazing. But this is the thing with Walmart. You can make anything fun. You can make anything fun. It's all on your perspective. It's all on, when we go to Florida, we love Florida. We talk about Florida all the time. When we go to Florida, I'm the one who's waking up, like, either my wife or Brianna, our eldest daughter, at like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, saying, let's go for a trip to Walmart. Like, I love it. I think it's all on what it is that you want to see, what it is that you're looking at. Emily, the numbing was just in my right arm from shoulder to fingertips. I stopped taking the meds now for about a week and I feel better, but I'm still having the panic attacks. But I also have Ativan to help. Okay, so I definitely would say follow up with your family physician, but I don't think it was a stroke. Wait and see what the doctor says, and the Ativan definitely will help. But with medication, you need therapy. We were just talking. Actually, I was just talking about this with a friend of ours who's another medical doctor, and a lot of people don't realize that, medication, what it does is when you're suffering from things like anxiety and depression, it's chemical induced. So what happens is there's different parts of our brain that obviously have different functions, and they all work in conjunction with each other. The second that there is any type of chemical imbalance, it is going to severely cripple one of those points of the brain that are supposed to be aligned with the chemicals. Now what happens is this: it will paint a different picture. So when we're talking anxiety and depression, when I'm saying that picture, it's our perspective of what we're seeing and how we're feeling about it, and how these chemicals are mixing in with our emotions and being released. So envision, you're just seeing blackness, scribble lines everywhere. Like it's just scribble lines everywhere. When you're taking this medication, what that does is it balances out the chemicals enough that it can just straighten out those scribbles. Okay. But if you don't change the mindset, if you don't change the perspective of it, it's just going to all go back to scribbles again, because you're actually not putting in the work. It's almost like taking steroids. You can't take steroids and expect to be big. You can't take weight loss pills and expect to lose. You cannot do anything without putting some work behind it. So medication is great, but the problem is over 95% of people, the population, don't use it properly. You still need therapy with the medication. I couldn't find her, and I was in the store and it was really busy. I can appreciate that, Karen, you being by yourself alone in a store and it's busy. But the reality is that you're using Alyssa as your comfort, and that is something you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't comfort. You should have had that strength within yourself, because you have been doing amazing. You have been doing really, really good. The fear will be there because it does take some time. You got to remember, there's years and years and years of this patterned behavior of believing that you have anxiety every time you go out to a store, that you don't like stores and you hate being around people. So you've convinced yourself of this. So now we're trying to erase these lies that have been created because of the anxiety. So you really need to change that perspective and that mindset. Alyssa disappeared. Who cares? We would have found each other eventually. You both got cell phones. Even if somebody didn't have the cell phone, just enjoy yourself. Busy or not busy, just take a walk around that store, wherever else it was, and enjoy yourself. Stevens, hello, Anthony. Glad to be here. Hello, Stevens. How are you? Heather, I am a chef in the kitchen I worked in and felt that it was a sexist place. I was treated differently being a female manager. There was also racism and other negative things going on. That's unfortunate. That's one thing I cannot tolerate is racism, mainly because I just don't understand it. But Heather, this is the thing. Being in an environment that's toxic, where you've been able to, or you've had the opportunity to stand up for yourself and say something about the events that may have taken place. is great if you're not getting anywhere with it. But if you were sitting in the sidelines and you just want to run from that without voicing how you feel, I would disagree with that, because I think these situations could potentially make us a lot stronger, and they do help us grow as people. Sherry Lee, hello, how are you? Karen Joshua Lozer, I totally agree. Karen. Karen. Ladon, I'm on a few meds for different things. I have looked at triggers, but again, can't pinpoint. Okay. I do deal with racing thoughts when I get anxiety, but it's usually always different, of course. So, when you looked at these triggers and you can't pinpoint, you've developed generalized anxiety disorder, which usually happens. This is where I talked about earlier. Remember, I said how we become addictive to the anxiety, because the anxiety usually does start with a trigger. It does start with the trigger, and then it just leads to, and this is where I've said to everybody, you start with that trigger. I have anxiety, and that gives me anxiety to now to overrun and overtake our mind, overwhelming response. But what happens is when we run from that anxiety attack, the steps that happen after that attack is what causes another 50 different triggers time. So now it gets to the point where I just have anxiety. Stevens, good. It's Faith Vibe. Hello, how are you, my friend? Love to see you here, brother. Thank you for being here. Love it. Emily, I do have a family counselor and I do have a psychiatrist, but she's away for medical problems herself. My psychiatrist wants me to start cognitive therapy for panic disorder. That's what I do. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist practitioner. I chose that discipline because that is the most effective for anxiety and depression. Ladon, I did realize the other night when told someone I was scared to be alone, they weren't comfortable with themselves, and that's me also. I'm not comfortable with myself. Of course. I'll tell you, a lot of what caused my insecurities is because when anxiety kicked in, I ran from it. And a lot of the things that I feared, because of the anxiety, caused my own self-esteem issues, and because it was such a rapid evolving response. And we all know the overwhelming experience that we have with anxiety, and when that panic kicks in or that fight or flight response kicks in, what it feels like. Things like flying. When you think about this on a subconscious level, when you can't fly over something that's supposed to be, exhilarating and beautiful and so, free, being up in the air, it takes a toll on you. It causes insecurity. It causes, you to have self-esteem issues. So what happens is, in order to combat that, what we do is we lie. I hate flying. I hate the mall. I hate going to concerts, because we hate being around people. We hate being confined to a small space. We don't know what the outcome's going to be. So what happens when we lie to ourselves? What happens when we lie to ourselves? We start believing this, right? We start believing this nonsense, and our life becomes a lie. And naturally, what happens is we develop those self-esteem issues. We forget who we are. And then with that comes depression, because we're not living life for ourselves. It's a constant lie on top of a lie. And you're driving by a mall that you would really love to go into and shop. You're hearing about your friends going on these amazing vacations. I hate vacation. I hate flying. I hate the mall. But we don't. So you have this battle with the subconscious mind and the mind, and your soul is getting involved in saying, what the hell is going on? We lose ourselves constantly. We forget who we are. We become, irritable, agitated, because it's this constant battle. And then the anxiety, because the anxiety is there to protect us, and the anxiety is doing its job, because anxiety is definitely not a bad thing. Anxiety is not a bad thing. Anxiety is something that is there to save our life. It's doing its job. But what anxiety is doing is what you're telling it to do. That's what anxiety is doing. It's trying to protect you. Remember, when you have an anxiety attack, even when you're mad or upset, you're functioning with less than 50% of your IQ. There's no rational thought. You cannot process when you are in this type of zone. So, in saying that, this is how you've heard the story 1,000 times, how we develop these false realities. You're in a mall, you're at a food court, you have an anxiety attack. The first thing we do is run the hell out of there. Once we get into our comfort zone, it's thank God that's over. Well, you just showed your subconscious mind, and you just told your brain that there was something really bad there. So protect me. So the subconscious mind stored everything. It stored whatever you smelt, whatever you were tasting, whatever you were hearing, whatever you were seeing. It stored everything, even what you were smelling, everything. It stored everything and attached anxiety to it to say, okay, well, we don't know what happened here, but there's something here that's really, really bad. So grab everything that you can see, that you can touch, that you can feel, that you can smell, and just store it with anxiety. But you don't even realize that. A day later, a month later, a year later, you're driving and you might smell the same thing, or you might see the same thing, or you might hear the same song that was playing in that food court, and you go into instant anxiety. And then what happens when you run from that? You just created a whole new series of triggers without even realizing it. So we lie to ourselves. And the anxiety continues to do what it's supposed to do, which is protect us. These reactions, guys, understand something. When you look at something and you have a feeling, that's a chemical reaction. When you smell something, it's a chemical reaction. This is very, very, very simple understandings of how our minds function, of how we react to certain things, and it's all cognitive, of course. It's like the theory with the bell ringing. Every time the bell would ring, the dog would salivate. So they programmed this dog to, every time the bell would ring, the dog would automatically salivate. It's the same thing that we are going through with anxiety. This is the same principle that we are going through. The thing with anxiety is that we just create more and more and more false realities, which leads us into more of a world of protection and, trying to be somebody ultimately that we're not. Where are we here? I did realize the other night. Okay, yes. Right until now, if it was fight or flight, I was 100% flight every time. I'm scared of everything. And Ladon, that's very normal. I live that life as well. It's very, very normal. But every feeling that we get with anxiety, the second that we get it, like I said before, even if you watch my vlogs, I would have a gurgle in my stomach, and it'd be because I was hungry or I'm digesting, and instant react. I wouldn't sleep for 3 days thinking I had a stomach flu or I had food poisoning. It was no way to live. But I programmed that. That was me programming myself to be like that, because I attached anxiety to everything in my life, because that's what the subconscious mind does. We start to believe it, of course. We have no choice but to believe it, because it's survival. That's what it is. We have no choice but to believe it, because it's survival. Our brain's only function is for us to survive. That's what our brain does. I need to keep this being alive. We need to survive. I love people, but not everyone is in your corner, and I panic. Yeah, I love people, and not everybody's in my corner, and that's totally fine with me. I don't need anybody in my corner. I don't need anybody in my corner. I don't. I'm me. I'm going to be who I am. You know, if I fight with somebody or I'm upset with somebody, or even if you look at all the drama on TikTok, at the end of the day, I don't need anybody in my corner to defend me. I don't need it. I know who I am. If I did something wrong, I'm gonna own up to it. You know, if I said something that offended somebody, I'm gonna own up to it. That's a part of learning. That's a part of growing. You're gonna need people in your corner if you're afraid, if you're scared. Now, if we're talking about all of us getting together and maybe flying somewhere where everybody is scared of flying or scared to go somewhere and having people in your corner that way, we're not in your corner. We're just all sticking together. We're walking side by side with each other. But when it comes to anything else, you know, this is the thing. Saying having anybody in your corner is still putting the responsibility on somebody else. You don't need to be doing that. And that's a big issue nowadays. We don't need to be putting that responsibility on anybody else. We need to trust ourselves. You don't need to trust anybody. You trust yourself. Karen, I am at a point right now where I feel lost. I feel totally alone and no one really understands. I am having a war in my own head. But Karen, what difference does it make if somebody understands? Because we've been talking about this for some time now. I understand. So the reality is you've had me for years now. I understand. Where's it getting you? Because you're still saying that you feel lost. So does it matter? What's the significance of anybody else understanding? Why don't you just understand it? Why don't you figure it out? Stop worrying about the outside. Stop worrying about everybody else because they make no significant difference in your life. You need to figure this out. I've been crying for 3 days for no known reason. A lot of times we do that. And this is where when I say take responsibility for your crying, because there definitely is a reason. You're feeling something. You're feeling something. Maybe you've blocked that out or you don't want to face it. And this is coming from a subconscious removal of energy that you've had stored. It could very well be that, which is definitely not a bad thing. Kathy Murray, Mr. Thank you. Yep. So you know, that could be it. But you know, still putting a responsibility like that on anybody else, I disagree with. Listen, you know, one of the hardest things for me to understand is that it's up to me to understand. I think what made us really big on YouTube and everywhere else was people just felt like they weren't alone. That's it. And there are so many people out there that are feeling the same way, but we constantly look at that. Oh, you'll never understand me. You'll never understand me. Gives a shit. It's who cares? I need to first understand myself. And once I understand myself, then I'll tell you right now, I will make sure there's no reason why nobody can understand me. If I'm able to understand myself and I'm able to communicate that, there's no reason for nobody to understand me. But when I was going through it and I didn't understand it myself, and I had no idea what was going on with me, of course nobody could understand me. How could they? I couldn't understand myself. That's the reality of it. So start focusing that energy on yourself because it doesn't matter about anybody else. You need to focus that energy on yourself. So do we have any, oh my God, I got all my boxes of merch. Do we have any other questions with the app, with anxiety, with what anybody's going through? I know I need to get over the survivor's guilt when it comes to trust today, but it's not easy. Okay. This is something that is definitely going to take some time, right? And once you find that peace within yourself, it will then become easier. But that is also going to take some time. Survivor's guilt tells me you have a huge heart. You know, that's one of the first things I'll say right there. It tells you the type of person you are having survivor's guilt. And I can appreciate that because I went through that. When my friends died in that car accident, everything went through my head. I wish I'd have been there. If I'd have been there, maybe they wouldn't have gone down that road. Why did they die and I'm still here? And blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on and on and on and on. At the end of the day, I'm still here. And there's a reason for it. and I'm not going to waste that. That's how I seen it. I am damn well never going to waste that opportunity. If I've been given this opportunity at life, there's a reason for it. And to me, it would be like slapping God in the face. That's how I see it. If I did, Kathy, one of the biggest steps I had in healing was when I learned to hug me, myself, and I. Kathy, I think that's genius. Genius. Absolutely genius. We need to accept ourselves, and I said that even in one of my videos. In order to accept anybody or even understand, you first need to accept yourself. Alyssa, I've tried to download the workbook, but it doesn't send to my email. So I've been writing in my journal. Is there anything in the workbook that I am missing? Absolutely, Alyssa, you need the workbook. Why is it sending it to your email? Alyssa, you're on step 1, correct? Step 2 now? Okay. Yeah, there we go. We got you. So if you see that, Alyssa, you can email info@iamhere.org and we can send you a copy. I was just going to do that. I was actually just jumping in there. Alejandro, I resent my email using my Gmail. Hopefully it got to you. So I did email Roger. You still didn't get yours, correct? I did forward your email to Roger, and I'm positive that the team will. If not, the same thing. You can email info@iamhere.org. Info@iamhere.org, Alejandro, and they will definitely copy you on that. So email them and say this is the original email, which was your full name, I believe, at Hotmail. I'm pretty sure because we've been having it. No, AOL, because I know there's an issue with Hotmail because I think it's just because Hotmail is a little outdated. So AOL might be the same. Just I guess it just might not. I don't, like I said, I'm not technical at all. I have no idea. But send info@iamhere.org. Perfect. Joshua, I feel like I owe everything, but I am forcing myself to trust. Like fake it to make it. No. Like what feeling like you owe everyone means that you're substituting how you're feeling and you're deflecting. Okay, you're trying to please people. There's no difference from the opposite end of it, right? It's just opposite ends of that spectrum. Please, because we're so unhappy that it's like we want people to like us. We need to be this person, and it's no way to live. It's really no way to live. Don't force yourself to trust anybody. And I've repeated this before. Trust yourself. That's what's important, because that's going to be one of the hardest things to do. Amazing. Think about that. It will be harder for us to trust ourselves than it would to trust somebody else. What's that tell you? We live a lot for everyone else and everything else, and we fail to work on the most important thing, which is us, right? Alyssa, okay, thank you. Awesome. Karen, so I need to finish the steps and learn what's going on with me, and if my family, friends, etc. never understands, then don't worry about it. Well, listen, this is the thing. I'm going to repeat what you said. So I need to finish the steps and learn what's going on with me. Yeah, absolutely. Like, this life is your life. This is about you. You need happiness. You deserve happiness. This is your life. If my friends, family never understands, and don't worry about it. Well, what are you living your life for? For other people to understand you? Because I can assure you, Karen, the second you can figure out your own life and understand yourself, people will understand you. I will give you, I will bet whatever you would like on that. 100%. If you, it's like speaking gibberish. talk gibberish, but think in your mind what it is that you're saying. So, you might understand yourself, but really you're not understanding yourself because what's coming out of your mouth is gibberish. So how you expect anybody else to understand that? You need to articulate that for yourself. But if you've lost who you are as a person, okay, and anxiety has taken over and has changed perspective on things, it's going to give a distorted view of reality. Then what happens is you suffer from self-deception. You're going to view the world the way you see it, not the way it really is. So it's going to be hard to understand, extremely hard to understand. It's like grabbing a puzzle and just throwing all the pieces into a box and say, here, look at this. Well, I don't get it. I don't understand it. Well, how do you not understand it? It's a puzzle. You're seeing this vision, but nobody else is. So once you're able to put all those pieces together and have that beautiful picture, then you can show and say, here, look at this picture. If people still say, I don't understand it, well, that's on them. That's not on you. You know what I mean? Alejandro, I will send the email right now. Thank you. You're welcome. Eddington, Alejandro, yes, please send a note to info@iamhere.org and we will get you set up. Beautiful. Thank you, team. They are amazing. I don't know where I would be without them. And that is 100% the truth. Our team at I Am Here is brilliant. The most supportive, amazing team I have ever seen. We wouldn't even be a quarter of where we are without these people. So thank you, my friends. Stevens, this may sound silly. Nothing sounds silly. But I had detailed dreams about my wife who is divorcing me. It started me off on a bad note for the day and feeling great at all. I am terribly sorry to hear this news, but I'm trying to understand what you are saying. This may sound silly, but I had detailed dreams about my wife who is divorcing me. It started me off on a bad note for the day and feeling great at all. Maybe I need you to explain that to me a little more, Stevens. Just sent, thank you. Perfect. Emily, is there any way to have some counseling appointments with you, Anthony? Anybody can book with me on our website. I am a therapist. I do take on clients. I only take on a certain amount of clients because I tend to dedicate much of my time to them. So I do want to make note of that. Until I have a client who has overcome and they are good, that's when I'll take another one on because it is busy. It is busy. I try and make myself available almost 24 hours of the day for my clients. So, but Emily, yes, everything can be booked on our website. Steven's not feeling great. So you had a dream. So are you married and in the dream your wife was going to divorce you, or are you going through a divorce? Hi, all. I'm sorry I'm late. Hello, Shelly. Welcome. Karen, I understand. Yes, thank you. Beautiful, Karen. Emily, okay, thank you. You're very welcome, my dear. Or even on our lives, we give away a lot of sessions. On our lives, you know that, Emily. On TikTok, we give away a lot of sessions. We give away a lot of apps. There's such an enormous support of people that will come in and be like, my daughter's in this program. It's changed her life. I want to sponsor somebody for step one. Or, somebody comes in and said, I had a session with you and you really opened my eyes. I want to sponsor somebody to do a session with you. So keep following along because there's a lot of people out there that really believe in what we're doing and we've changed many lives and they want to give back, which is a beautiful thing. It's nice to see that. Come on, guys, more questions. This is your time. This is all your time, guys. Stevens, going through divorce and had detailed dreams about everything that's happened so far. The dream, even went as far as her cheating, it was very detailed and it felt too real. So these are worries that you're having, Stevens. These are normal occurrences. You're thinking about these things. Sure, it's bothering you. Your mindset is there with it. at the end of the day, it is going to happen. It's going to happen. You know what we're thinking about, these reside in our subconscious mind. When you're going to sleep, you fall into that certain level of consciousness, and that frequency does come up and it does weigh out in our mind, and it is very you know, and it upsets me when I hear of things like that, because I you know, it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. um and I can see how that would affect your day. I really could. I don't know the circumstances of why the divorce is there, why the divorce is happening, but I do know that there is always a positive in every negative, and these give us opportunities to really grow and learn as people, and it will help you, I can assure you. But it's all about your perspective on it. uh Ladon, I have my first session with you next Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to it. That's exciting. Alejandro, Shelly's in the house. Kathy Martin, Anthony, for some reason you appear to be very peaceful tonight, more so now than ever. I'm always peaceful. I think, you know what it is, Kathy? It's maybe because on the lives. Is that why? Because on the lives, it's so busy, and they're jumping, and you got so many people coming on there, and it's just whoa, it becomes so overwhelming. But I think I might, change up how I am on the lives a little bit. I think I might do that, because um I think I try, and I'm gonna throw myself under the bus here. Uh I think I'm trying to please everybody, and I don't mean like how we were talking, where I'm so insecure with. No, no, no. I just mean I think I just want to help everybody and help as many people as I can. Um, so when you're on the lives, you get into that moment, you start getting, it becomes exciting, but then it's like, oh shit, reality kicks in, and then you have, now I just created like, another 4 hours of paperwork ahead of me. But yeah, but I'm always good. I am good. And thank you. Karen, I have sponsored 3 steps. There you go. There's another person who has done it. Yes, you have, Karen. Thank you. Alejandro, your invite should be in your email now. Please check. If not, please check your spam. Alejandro, did you get that from our tech guru? Sherry, I win 2 things. Free counseling last night. I won the app. I just started. That is amazing, Sherry. Congratulations, my dear. So you won step 1 of the app, right? Step 1. There's 5 steps in the app. So you have won step 1. Joshua, Anthony, in meditation, I see a light in a body that should be me, but it doesn't look like me. Are you right now? So you're seeing this light in this body. You see this light in this body that should be you, but it doesn't look like you, because it's not you yet. It's who you want to be. So that means the meditation is working, and I think that's brilliant. So keep filling it with things that you want. Keep filling it with who it is that you want to be. Replace that energy. I'm angry. Why am I angry? I'm actually sad about this. Throw away the anger, put in the sadness. Now, why am I sad? Why is this making me sad? And how can I change this? Replace it. That's you. That's who you are. Replacing that and work with that. The fear is going to be there, and that's okay. It's fine. This is something that we're not used to. But that's why you have all of us. You have all of us here as support. We don't need to be right directly beside you in that corner, but we'll be there for you along the way of that journey, and you're going to be fine. Are we still going to go on a subway after COVID is gone? Absolutely. Absolutely. Downloading now. There you go, my friend. You finally got it, Shirley. Yes, sir. Karen, he is peaceful because he has never had a session with me. That is not true. LOL at Karen's post. Sorry with the sir. Yes, Sherry, definitely not. It's okay. But yeah, yes. So after COVID is over, Karen, I will definitely thank you on your first subway. Alyssa, workbook sent. Brilliant, Eddington. Thank you, my friend. But that's how you help people overcome anxiety. That's how I see it. You take people out and do things like me and Karen have been doing, which helps. Shelly, I dream every night. I am such a control freak. I even fight myself in my dreams if I don't like it. Yes. Control is something that we don't want to have. It's fun not to have control because it'll make you stronger. If you need to control something, there's fear involved. I said it, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I said it. Anytime you need to control anything, fear's there. Fear's present. Because when I was trying to control everything, it was because I was a chicken shit. I needed everything the way I wanted it to be. Right? Everything had to go according to the way I wanted it to. Why? Because I was a chicken shit. I didn't want to go outside of that structure. I didn't want to go outside of that comfort zone. But when I was able to release and let go of that control, it was so scary, guys. It was so scary. But what happens when you face your fears? There's no fear present. Do what you fear, and death of fear is certain. This is something my amazing father-in-law tells me all the time. Do what you fear, and death of fear is certain. Okay? Absolutely. And it's exhausting, extremely exhausting trying to control everything in your life. Extremely exhausting. People, friends, relationships, things need to be the way you want them to be. People need to see the way you need to see things. And if these things don't happen, you're the asshole. You go offside. You get irritable. You get irritated. This is where we lose friendships. We lose relationships, and we end up right where we are because of control. No need to control anything. You're right. I fix, manage, and control everything out of complete fear. Absolutely. Absolutely. Release that control. You got this. You got this. This is where I said you need to start trusting yourself. I'm telling you, you got this. You just don't see it yet because you've never given yourself the opportunity to see it. How do you know that you cannot do great things or fall out of that comfort zone or be this person you want to be if you've never tried? Try it. What you got to lose? Really think about that with anxiety and the things that it stops us. What have you got to lose? A feeling? Gives a shit. It's going to go away. Try it. And the more you try it, believe me, the better you're going to feel. And we need to do a night session as well. That one freaks me out. No problem. I am the queen of needing control. I know you are. So true, Anthony. I'm there right now. Karen, I know you're the queen of needing control. That's why a lot of times when you've messaged me, I fight with myself to not reply to you because I'm like, nope. She's got to do this. And then if you notice, I'll reply like hours later or a day later to say, okay, what's going on? Because I need you to know that you can handle these things. You can. This is all part of the process. Luke, I've only got one friend who stuck by me while I was pushing everything and everyone away. That is beautiful, Luke. That is beautiful, my friend. Joshua, I started telling people that if I'm not giving you what you expect, then stop expecting. I started telling people if I'm not giving you what you expect, then stop expecting. We shouldn't live with any expectations to a certain degree. Right? We should just be living. Right? We should just be living. The second you have expectations or you're doing things or you're expecting these things, you're going to get disappointed. In my friendships and my relationships, I use a priority scale. That's what I do. I usually go based on priority. Who's going to answer the phone when I call? I understand and I appreciate people are busy. But now, doing things for people, I do them because I want to. That way, it releases any type of negative energy or pressure on anybody else. I can't say, well, I always answered my phone when you called, or I always did this for you. I don't care because I did it because I wanted to. So now the way I see that friendship or that relationship growing is if it's not coming back, I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. But I'm going to focus priorities elsewhere. I don't have any ill thought about it. I don't let it bother me. I don't care for it. I did what I did because I truly wanted to do it. And I didn't have to hurt myself or hurt anybody in the process or even start any drama like most people do, right? Yes, but people expect from me. That's your fault. That's your fault, my friend. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but that's on you. If people are expecting from you, that's because it's something that you are doing. That's something you need to work on. My control really started in 2018 when Will was diagnosed and he was sedated. I was his voice, and I still feel responsible for his health and well-being. My dear, you are not. You are not responsible for that. It is fine that you are such an amazing wife. Will and you both are extremely lucky to have each other. But you cannot put that responsibility on you. Oh, I just realized I am making excuses. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. And that's something a lot of us don't realize when we say these things or when we have these conversations, and especially when it's pertaining to anxiety, that we use excuses all the time. Good for you, Shelly. Yes, and I am starting to realize that is the reason. Before, I thought you were just ignoring me or mad at me, or you were just tired of me and wanted. I'm going to wait for the next one. Dang you, Anthony. It's what I do best, Shelly. I've been there, hun. I've been there, my love. And it's fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. But you're not going to believe how much freer all of you are going to feel. We are scared of change, but I'm not changing you. I'm just releasing all this weight that you're carrying that's changed you. And once you release it, a new up. You'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about. Luke, I wouldn't expect much, but thought a lot of people wanted me for money. That hurts when it's myself doing it. Of course it hurts, and that's why it's scary, right? It's hard to look in that mirror, Luke, because it hurts. It hurts, right? It fucking hurts. So it's hard for us to look in that mirror and put that responsibility and take that ownership for ourselves. It's extremely difficult. Not many people can do that because it fucking hurts. Of course it hurts. But look what happens when you start doing it. Look at the realizations. Just look at just these live feeds that we've been having. How many people have been in here realizing, like, holy shit, yeah, you're right. Just from realizing, yeah, I got to stop and take my own ownership and own up to my own shit. It'll change your life, guys. I'm telling you, it will change your life. We focus a lot of our energy on the wrong things. I had a call today from a friend of mine, freaking out. What's wrong, hun? Freaking out. Long story, but somebody posted something and this person caused a lot of drama and commenting, and I'm like, well, you got to feel sorry for that person. Like, what do you mean feel sorry for them? No, I got to retaliate. Listen, stop. Take the ownership. Were you guys wrong? Were you guys right? Take that ownership. And at the end of the day, when you're able to do that, your energy changes in regards to a lot of other people and a lot of other things that you're seeing on the outside. A lot of us are so concentrated on what is happening out there. How are people going to think? How are people feel? How am I going to do this? How should I say this? Or, what's next? The reality is when people are acting that way, especially in a derogatory way, you need to feel sorry for them. You do. You need to feel sorry for them because your energy will shift. So anyways, this person commented, and I can't really divulge a lot of it, but they were really, really upset. And I thought, if you know the truth, why is that bothering you? You're putting your energy into something that you shouldn't be. And this is how a lot of things become unresolved, because the energy focus is going somewhere that is based on pride and ego. Because the reality is that anybody who is making up these false rumors, or anybody who's speaking to you like this, you should feel sorry for them, because they're not happy. They're truly not happy. That it will change your perspective, it will change your response, it will change everything about that situation, and it just becomes better for everybody that's involved. Hurts so much. Yes, Luke, it does. Want to stop working with me, and never, never. I got mad and had to slow down after you said that. I never asked anyone to expect from me, but I know now that I allowed it to get to that point. Yes, my brother, you did. This is once again where I say we need to take responsibility. We need to take that. I know I'm not the best looking, and I know I'm not the best with money, but I know I want to be able to live freely. Listen, not being the best looking, not being the best with money, none of these things are all irrelevant. These things are all irrelevant. I've never given a shit about looks. So I might be speaking out of line here, because I'm a different caliber of a person. Yeah, okay, you go, Anthony, you got a beautiful wife, and okay, yeah, I get that. But I still never gave a shit about it, because I will tell you right now, I will show you pictures of my wife after our kids and how much weight she gained. And I swear to you, I didn't notice it. And it was a lot of weight. I didn't even notice it until she started working out. And I don't know if I'm a bad husband for that or a good husband for that. You know, it can swing both ways, because she was like, well, you didn't even notice. And I'm like, listen, I didn't marry you for that. And I will teach my children the same way. If my two boys decide to be married to women, I will tell them straight up, if you're going to go for tits and ass, you're setting yourself up for a divorce, because looks are irrelevant. I also tell my daughters, make your own money. Don't rely on anybody for anything. Those things are things that we obviously have full control over, because we can take care of ourselves. We can follow our dreams and do whatever it is. We are successful however we decide or choose that to be. But the reality is that shit is irrelevant. You don't need good looks to live happy. You don't need money to live happy. You need to have it inside of here. You need to be your true, authentic self to develop that happiness. What if you close people off and have? I've blocked the people in my life. I just want to block them because they're the reason. So I don't think you should be blocking anybody. I don't think you should be blocking anybody. I've never believed in that, Sherry. Blocking people, and I don't believe, if you guys have come into our lives on TikTok, especially, you will see the trolls that have come on there. Even the negative comments we've received on some of our videos. But you also see that, you know, we've had some very ruthless trolls coming into our live feeds, and how I've handled them. They've ended up following us and apologizing. So this is what I've said. This is what I will continue to say, and I've said it on my live feed tons of times. A true influencer is not about just posting those positive videos. It's about how you're going to handle the negativity, because that's what people are waiting to see. Blocking people, nobody learns, nobody wins. Okay, nobody wins. By shining in that situation, and this is where I said it takes a lot of energy, but it also means putting the energy into the right place. You're helping everybody. I think I am also afraid that I might not know who I am if I change too much of my mindset. Well, Shelly, you probably don't know who you are. You probably don't know who you are, and it's one of those scary things. And I'm going to be real with you, Shelly. I think I am also afraid that I might not know who I am if I change too much my mindset. You're lying to me, because I will tell you right now, if you dig deep down inside, you're not afraid to not know who you are. You're afraid that, are people going to like me? This is all judgment. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I always say I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong. You are more afraid of acceptance from other people, of who I truly am. So you can try and blow rainbows up my ass all you want, Shelly, but it's not going to work with me, honey. I think you need to start looking at the right things. Stop using excuses. Luke, I've not blocked my ex who abused me. I just want to know what was it that made her do it and why did it happen to me, but I can't talk to her because of fears and repeat episodes. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? That's what I'd be curious to know. Why does it matter? Everybody, and this is something that I look at. Everybody and everything happens in your life, there's a lesson there, right? And it's to teach us something. And if we start focusing on the why, where are we going to end up in life? We need to turn around and focus on the now what? This is what's going on. This is what happened. Now what am I going to do? How am I going to move forward? How can this change me? What have I learned from this? Move forward. Learn, understand it, move forward. That's how I see it. Oh my God, my wife's on. Well, hello, Valerie. How are you, my love? It's a nice little surprise. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Val. Hi, Kara. Yeah, but the person hurt you. So, Sherry, you're saying you blocked this person that hurt you. Is that what we're talking about? So you blocked the person that hurt you. I've had many people hurt me. Many people. And you know what the funny thing is they block me, let them block me. Because I see them unblock me sometimes. I am who I am. They want to hurt. It's about confidence, and it's all. I have a certain integrity about myself. So this is the reality. They hurt me. They lost, not me. I know the person that I am. I know the type of friend that I am. I know the caliber of a person that I am, what I can offer. That's on you. That's not on me. It hopes to help me to come to terms with it. You're looking at the wrong things. You're looking at the wrong things. Hi, Sandip. I've been on this whole time. Really? Wow. Close enough. Hello, Valerie. Oh my God, guys. See, good thing I wasn't talking bad about my wife. Wow. See that? It's a good thing. Eddington, where's our tech department? How is our tech department not told me that my wife was on this whole time? So my friends, Anthony, I must say this live is amazing. Well, fighting with my wife. So from your point of view, I don't think it'll break you more. I think you're looking at the wrong things. Okay. I'd love to get my wife down here because she can have a great point in this. A lot of times when we're fighting, you know, let's say me and my wife, for example, get into a fight. Me and my wife fight a lot, and we did. It's funny because usually when you start a relationship, it's supposed to be the best thing in the beginning, okay? But the reality is, with me and my wife, our relationship was horrible, and I this is where it goes to show that there's something up there that kept us together, because it was horrible and it got better. Our relationship's the best it's ever been now, and it only gets better. That's the way life should be. Life shouldn't work backwards. But why did it happen is because Valerie really helped me open my mind up to a lot of things. You know, the love and respect and admiration I have for my wife really helped ground me in a way that I would never have been able to imagine. So when me and Valerie fight, it's not about you made me feel like this, you did this, you did that. I think about, why do I feel this way? My wife loves me. My wife would only want what's best for us. So what is it that she said or did that made me feel this way? I had to take that ownership and responsibility. And once I was able to do that, then I could communicate back to her and say, hey, Val, listen, this is what happened and this is how I felt. And, you know, what's up? And she said, well, Anthony, no, it was like this, or this is what I meant by that, or this was my perspective on it. And the beauty about that is you learn and grow so much as a couple and so much in life when you're able to have that open mindset with each other. A lot of who I am is because of my wife. The reason why I sit here today is because of my wife. The reason I've been able to help and change so many people's lives is because of my wife.
Well, it's because of our.
It's because of my wife. Okay.
Because of what.
Of course, it's because of us and what we've gone through, but a lot of it is it directly has to do with that. Okay.
I was gonna say, when you were talking about fighting and because you did this and our fights used to be like that.
Huge.
It was
an eye for an eye.
It was awful. It was awful.
It was literally an eye for an eye. That's how our fights were.
You never get anywhere, and it just is the worst.
And what changes is we take that responsibility. We take that responsibility. It's a lot of times, and this is the thing, couples will reach out and say, I need help, and my husband cheated on me. I'm like, okay, what'd you do? Well, what do you mean I didn't do anything? I'm like, wait a second. We need to open up the communication here. If these things are happening, your husband or leave, this is something about you learning and growing. If Valerie cheated on me because I don't communicate, and she may be wrong for cheating. You know me, I don't like the wrong and the right, but she did what she needed to do based on survival. She was lacking something that she needed, and of course she can look at it and say this was something internally that's on her. But the reality is, even if I say I do not agree with cheating and I decide to leave Valerie because of that, I still learned as a human that I need to communicate. It's not all about me or how I feel or what I want. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Joshua says, Karen says, Valerie, I agree 100%. Obviously. Katie Dean, hello. Kathy Martin, you two are angels to each other. I really believe that. I believe it.
Yeah, totally. We were definitely meant to be. That's for sure.
Ladon, I've been married 22 years and we are struggling. I feel like he's over all my anxiety. We have a son diagnosed with autism at 8. My husband was diagnosed shortly after. They aren't empathetic. You know what it is? Sometimes when we can't help somebody, we feel helpless. Anger comes out of them, because like I said, when you break anger down, it's 2 parts: sadness and fear. And both of those would come out if your husband's dealing with somebody who is suffering with anxiety and depression. So, we look at our loved ones and say, what an asshole. He doesn't care, or they don't understand. Well, the reality is that might look like that, but they're probably just scared because they don't know what to do and they feel helpless, and it's coming out like that. Try and help them understand it.
Yeah. It's hard when you don't know what to do. Imagine when there's somebody else who doesn't have the anxiety and they don't know what to do. Like that's was a thing for a long time with us.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you just started talking a little bit more, I could understand a little bit better. And then we started working together, like trying to figure it out because the communication's there.
But they are very dependent on me. So that shows that, you are very important in that household. You are extremely important in that household, and you have a huge part of the household that has crippling anxiety. So even more so of why it's there, why you feel it's there. So that is something that needs to be discussed with them. Mm-hmm. Joshua, I love that answer, Anthony. Outweigh in a relationship. Heather, how do you open communication in a relationship? I feel like my husband doesn't always talk out issues as freely as I would. So I this is something, Heather, we would definitely have to explore more, because, it might be, does he feel judged? Why does he feel judged? What is he scared of? Is he scared? Like we talked about earlier, like with Shelly. Shelly was saying how, she's scared of, opening up and not liking who she really is. I don't buy that. She's more scared of opening up and being the real person she is, and scared of other people not liking her. Okay, that's what I see. So a lot of times, Heather, maybe your husband is scared to open up because he feels that you might not love him or people wouldn't accept him for who he really is. that happens more often than you would think. She also goes after you with her slipper. It's a Spanish in her.
Only when I need to.
Agent, we were just talking about this exact same thing. Communication, guys, is extremely important. But this is the thing. How do we communicate? Open mind. And the most important one is being honest. Always. You know, don't tell or feed bullshit to people that you think that's what they want to hear because you're scared of that confrontation or you're trying to please people, because it only makes matters worse. Be yourself. And those that love you and want to be around you will be. But it's going to be hard at first. It will be hard at first. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's an adjustment sometimes, especially if you've been suppressing a lot of things. If you're suppressing everything, it's hard to let it come up because you're scared. So either someone's not going to love you anymore, or like, you know, you were somebody else when you met that person. And you know what I mean? Like, it's so many different feelings, but it's very important because the thing is, when you can be honest about who you are and how you really feel, then you can either like fix that layer and then move on to the next one. And then it just gets easier and easier.
But it starts with you first.
100%.
And it's about exploring, and it's about communication and understanding. Because if you're going to stay quiet, you're never going to know who you are.
That's what I'm saying. You have to talk. Yeah.
And I said, this goes back to, you know, losing that relationship with vulnerability as a child. This directly goes back to that. When we become, when we get into our, I would say, early teenage years, we lose that we lose that relationship with vulnerability, and we start becoming naive. And that's really when we start changing. But we don't change for ourselves. We're adapting to what's around us. And that's why we become so self-conscious of, you know, helping and doing things for everybody else except for ourselves, because we just want to please everybody. And meanwhile, we're depressed and we're suffering ourselves. That's why a lot of times I can guarantee you, for all of you, you either love to be alone, you don't want anybody around, or night times are the worst for you, right? I want to be alone. Why am I alone? You know what I mean? It's such a double-edged sword there. Luke, for my big bleed, sometimes I sleep and it's like I'm reliving the panic situation. I could have died, and I didn't for a reason. I believe it was for my best mate to ask me to be the godfather. There you go. That day, I remember the exact date and time that I bled out. Yes, Luke. That's what I'm saying. You're here for a reason. You are here for a reason. I suppress so much, and then it comes out at the wrong time. Well, there's never a wrong time for it to come out, Karen. As long as you understand it, right? And this is where something that you've been having trouble understanding when I say take responsibility for your emotions. Why is it coming out? What's going on? But it is excellent that it came out. I will not disagree with that. There's no wrong time for that. Unless it's in church and you start yelling and swearing and Joshua, Anthony, I used to sit quietly around strangers, but lately I've opened up more. And now I get such great responses, and I feel this scary going away. My new fear is, okay, wait a second, though. One step at a time, brother. Don't start substituting a fear for another. It's all layers, right? Let's get through these layers, and you're getting there. Joshua, look at the difference in you from a month ago to now. Get what I'm saying? Don't rush the process. Remember that we need control. Why? Fear. We need to control everything, especially with anxiety.
See, it's super important that when that happens, that you observe that that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of stops you in your tracks, and you realize, okay, I'm getting angry right now. And it'll come to you faster and faster every time it happens. And you're going to be able to calm yourself down better and faster every time.
Absolutely. So we are going to get off because we went over and it's okay. It's good because I love this conversation. I seriously can't wait for my session with you. I feel like you keep describing you. I'm kind of nervous because I know you're going to call me out on my bullshit, but I need it. But I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to be here for you, and it's going to be totally fine. You're going to be good. I promise. I bottled too much until I met you, Anthony. You're helping me change my mental state. Love it. You guys are amazing. So, guys, continue moving forward. I'm very proud of all of you. I will be making more of an appearance in the app. Sorry, I've just been with sessions and dealing with people on outside of it because we've been getting the emails from it. So I didn't want to go into the app and send those messages directly there. But I will be more active inside the app with you guys because that's the whole point of having that chat in there. And that's it. I'm sure I'll see you guys on our next TikTok live. If not, I will see you next week. Same time, same channel, same place. And yeah, thank you, everybody. You guys are all doing amazing. Keep taking ownership. That will change your life. Learn what it is to be vulnerable. And if you're in the program, that's what the last step is. Vulnerability. Love you all.
Good night.
Bye, guys.